May the words of my mouth and the meditations of all our hearts be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. Please be seated. Now, this is a Sunday that I typically try to do something really simple, because I haven't been working the past week. I haven't been studying the Scripture. I have a story that I've read the last couple of years, but I've read it the last couple of years, so I didn't want to read it again. It's a really good story, so if any of you want to read it, it's called The Fourth Wise Man. And it goes a lot into that reading from Matthew in the Bishop's Pastoral Letter. But whatever you do for the least of these, you do also to me. But I thought, this year, I'd like to do something a little bit different. I'd like us to sort of meditate on the idea of these magi. What it meant that these men saw this star, studied it, prayed about it in their own way, because it was not of their faith. These were men who followed a very different faith. They got their holy words from the stars. And so for them, a new star was incredibly important. They saw this star, and they set out on a journey 12 days ago. They set off on their journey. And today, about 2 years later, they arrived. So these are men of some means, because where they were from, in order to devote yourself to this study, you had to have money, because they used telescopes. They used observatories. They were very advanced in their study of the stars. They left all of that behind to follow this one star that they didn't really understand, but they knew it was important. I think of that journey somewhat like our journey. We did not sit down at the table with the living Jesus among us, teaching us, praying with us, showing us what it was all about. We didn't follow him around the countryside of Galilee. We didn't go on the water with him across the Sea of Galilee. We have our star, these words and our tradition, which carry that down to us. And we seek that which we don't fully understand. It's a big step to do that. To say, I know this is important, and I get bits of it, but I know that I don't understand all of it, and that I probably never will, but I want to know more. And it's worth giving things up to make that journey. 12 days ago, we started a new journey with Christ once again born into the world, into our lives, and into our care. Renewing Christ in our hearts. Where is that journey going to take us this year? Where is that journey going to take us 5 years from now? And that's an important question for this place. Where do we see this place and these people with Christ in this community 5 years from now? And we don't have to have all the answers. The wise men certainly didn't. They were seeking for a king. And until they actually got there, they weren't sure what they were going to find. They didn't even know exactly where they were going. When they got to Herod, they had to study the scriptures to find out, well, where do we go next? Because even though the star is in the sky, the closer we get to it, the harder it is to figure out exactly what direction we need to go. It's easy to tell when you're a long way off. Okay, I'm going in completely the wrong direction. Or I'm going pretty close, and I'll get a lot closer if I just go this way. But as we get closer to that destination, the direction gets much harder to tell. That first step into faith it may be an amazing and life-changing one, but it's probably the easiest one as far as knowing where to go. For those of us who have grown up in faith, we actually have a hard time with that. Because we're there already, but we're not. How do we get that real sense of discovery? That real sense of, this is so important. Why didn't I see it before? When it's where we've always been. I think of those of us who are cradle Anglicans or cradle whatevers, who have grown up in the church, as those who have already made it to Herod and are looking for that last step. How do we find out where to go next? Because we know we're close, but we're not there. We don't quite get it. But we know it's important. And maybe what we need to do is to realize we may think we've made it to Herod. We may think that we're close. We only have that last bit of the journey to make. But we may actually be further away than the Magi first discovering that they have a journey to make. That maybe we're trying to aim for something that is too close. Maybe we should be looking at our journey as just beginning. and saying, where is it? What is the direction we're trying to go? Not even what's the town we're trying to get to, but that first step. Are we going north, east, south, west? I know I pointed exactly the wrong direction. I always do that. Actually pointed north, didn't I? But then I went the wrong way. But just, where is it that we're trying to go? And why? No, I didn't point north. That's not north. I'm completely turned around. Just ignore the stuff about directions. But just to sort of bring that together about how we join in this journey of the Magi. That song of wisdom that we read as our canticle. She brought them across the Red Seas, led them through mighty waters. She was their shelter by day and their starlight through the night. She entered the soul of a servant of the Lord, withstood dread kings with wonders and signs. For wisdom opened the mouths of the dumb and gave speech to the tongues of babes. We don't know where our direction is going to come from. But we know that God will guide us. So we have fears, and we have hopes, and we have a journey. But we don't necessarily have to have a perfect destination, just a direction. And a sense that we are going to discover something that we only kind of know. That's the journey of the Magi. That willingness to step out in faith, to go into a land they didn't know, searching for a king that is not their own, and not even really knowing the reason, just that it's important. I think we've lost that kind of mystery. We want to know exactly what we're doing. But that's not exactly what the church is about. That's not Jesus' call. It's to step out into the unknown. Yes, there are lots of things that we are supposed to be doing, but we're supposed to be doing them by faith, not necessarily by knowledge. That's that trust. In this place, we worry because we are so small. And we have no youth. We barely have anybody who's middle-aged. But we're still on a journey. We still don't know exactly where we're going. But we can say, well, this direction looks like it's kind of in the right way. And we know that that direction isn't. That's the journey of the Magi. And maybe in 5 years, along that journey, we'll reach Herod and be able to say, well, we need to do some studying to see where we go next, because we're closer to where we were going than we were before. Or maybe we'll just be starting a new step in the journey. That's what it's like, seeking Christ. Because we know we will never quite get there. But we will constantly be discovering more about Christ and more about us if we are open to that mystery. And with God's help, we'll get somewhere. Where we're supposed to be. Not where we want to be, but where we're supposed to be. Thanks be to God.